Hello, sir. Dum de dum de dum dum dum. Oh my God, there's a face. Hello, hello, Greg.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I've got those glasses somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to
Yeah,
have those glasses anyway.
I don't. Do I have a stain on my? Is there a stain right there?
When you said you were going to wear your mankini, I thought
Yeah,
the
it's
the
too
under,
chilly.
the understanding was
Yeah, I understand.
it would just be the mankini, not.
I did that for about 7 seconds, and then the effects of cold started kicking in, and I said, no, I'm not going to embarrass myself. I mean, I'm going to embarrass myself, but not in that particular way. So
Just
no,
yeah,
no.
it shrunk. Is that what you're saying?
It didn't get any bigger. I can tell you that.
It's like a
So
turtle that pulled its head
yeah,
in.
an average, above average size turtle head. Hey, how's everybody else doing here? Hello, gentlemen.
Good.
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 Gus?
Greg and Dan. All right. Is that like
This is it. This is the entire audience here. Oh,
it's
Trodden.
quality, not
Mm.
quantity, as I
So
tell my
Well-
wife.
how come we're not having a big banquet in your all's honor?
I got
That
the
was-
invitation.
It
Thank
was
you, Greg.
suggested.
But
Somebody's been
no.
listening. Wow.
Yeah, no.
The same reason Ray has never invited me to his house and has never invited me on the World War II show in all of 9 years.
Because one of us wouldn't be safe. Oh my God, you chased one of them away. Dan, come back. Aw. Let's look
He's off
around this
fighting
room.
fascism.
Good for him. Good for him.
How did you go? Did you defeat fascism, Dan?
Did it go good?
I did.
Go.
I did.
Well
Yes. That was
done.
pretty short
Well,
work.
not for
That's pretty
Dan.
short.
Look, not everybody
Can
can say that they've defeated fascism.
we do the wave? No, probably. There's only
No,
no, never mind.
Not while you're wearing that. Just stay seated. I don't know. I don't need any more junk shots.
Oh, look on Facebook. You'll get them. You'll get 'em.
So we're gathered here today.
Mhm.
Today we will be putting out the final episode of Life of Caesar, and it also happens to be the 9th anniversary to the day of our first episode.
Wow.
Today, so hence
I
that's
was
why I
so
held it back
young.
for today.
I've
You
come a
haven't
long
looked.
way.
Here's the thing: is you don't look any different. I'm pretty sure to how you looked 10 years ago. Like
It's all those preservatives. that
I've
I take.
spent
So-
9 years trying to get you to do something with that thing you call a head of hair.
no one succeeds at everything, Kim. This is your Waterloo.
It's just it's just what is going on with that little fluff up there.
I don't know. I have decided we'll do curls.
How long do you spend every morning working on that?
Oh.
Like just getting it to sit up.
Yeah.
Bit
I've
of
gotten it.
mousse blow dryer comes out.
It's a process.
Is it a tiny little blow dryer? So this big, you just
okay, smart ass.
like
I've gotten it down to 17
from a Barbie
minutes.
set. It just
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, and that's not going to change. Sorry, guys. The kids don't want to see the parents fighting. I'm sorry. I'm
Me,
sorry,
on the other
gentlemen.
hand, like my
Yeah, look at
hairstyle
that.
has at least
Yeah.
changed over the years.
You're compensating for me.
It's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
In so many
you.
ways, that has been true.
I just remembered I have something better to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pet the dog. Sorry, guys. Y'all shouldn't have to hear this.
So how are you feeling, Papa Bear, at the knowing that the last episode's coming out today? Relieved, grateful, thank God that's over. What the hell was I thinking? My loyalty has been tested.
It's been found wanting. No, I didn't want the Caesars to end. I enjoyed the Caesars. I did learn a lot. That was the whole point. I'm feeling everything. I'm happy. I'm relieved. I'm sad. I'm depressed. When we don't have to do it a couple weeks from now, I'll be like, well, dude, I'll be like on the street corner, but hey, you want to talk about Caesar? Hey, give me a quick fix, just something, So,
So tell
what
me,
about you?
tell me what you've learned. Oh, same. Like,
Mhm.
I'm going to miss it, but I'm happy to have some time to do some other things that pay better, hopefully.
Yes.
With business partners that actually do something.
And real money. Real
yeah.
money would be a nice change.
Yeah, the thing with the QAV show is Tony does nearly all the work for the show. I run everything in the background. He does nearly all the work. Like, what is this? I don't have to do any work. I just need to rock up and hit record. It's great.
You're raying it.
Tell me, tell me.
I'm speaking the truth. Go ahead.
No, tell me what you've learned. Yeah, over these 9 years.
No problem.
Nothing personal. Just about Caesar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now I don't have anything to say. No. From Augustus, what I learned was it's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. He was sickly, he was weak, he was unmartial. By the time he ends his life, or at least at his peak, he was a force to be reckoned with. He was clever, he was thoughtful, he thought ahead, he sacrificed a lot for the state. And even though he did have his young lady friends, we're going to leave that at that. He did most of the time think about the state. He did think about something bigger than himself. But again, the thing that I will always remember about Augustus, and I don't think I appreciated this when we started, was just that how you can grow into something bigger. You can become something better. You can persevere. You can be diligent, and you can make yourself more than what you are. So there's got to be a rock song in there somewhere. But that's what I've learned from Augustus.
Do you think the length of Augustus's reign had anything to do with the fact that he was the first and it was new, and people were like, "Yeah, we'll give it a shot." Like when Trump got elected, a lot of people were like, "Let's give him a shot. Let's see. Let's give him a chance to prove himself." Yeah. Do you think there was any of that going on in Rome with Augustus? They were like, "Okay, listen, let's give the guy a fair shake. And see, what he can do with it. Let's just give him 40 years to see what he can do. See how this experiment works out."
Let me change the parameters of the question, if I may. Would that have worked out normally? I have no idea. But one, he did work very hard to appear to be nothing more than the first citizen of a group of equals. But the most important thing is that what came before him was so freaking bad. They could have elected us and they would have given us 40 years to figure it out. No, you guys suck, but it's better than the prescriptions and it's better than the civil wars. And no. So I think it's all relative. What came before him was so bad. He was going to get a shot. Maybe they weren't going to kill him right out the gate. But again, he turns out to be effective. He's got Agrippa. He's got his team. He's got his wife, Livia, who was brilliant. So I think he was given more chances than he probably should have, considering all the stuff that happened before him. People were like, please, if you can do better than that, we'll take you. What about you?
It'll be like when some strongman finally takes over the United States.
Yes.
People will be like, oh, thank God somebody's... Thank God that's over.
Thank you. Yes. And they'll take anybody at this point.
Yeah. We'll give him a shot.
Go ahead.
Well, I think Augustus, the Augustus story was fascinating to me because of how little pushback he really did get. I mean, there was a lot of talk of, we should restore the Republic, and even he was talking about doing it at some stage. Tibbo, when Augustus was still alive, Tibbo and his brother, who was his brother? Drusus, thank you. See, you're not completely useless. Tibbo and Drusus were trying to talk Augustus into bringing back the Republic, we believe.
Right.
Maybe that was the thing. Maybe, he was pitching it as, look, this is just an interregnum, right? This is just... Just give me a few minutes to catch my breath here, and the Republic will be right back. You won't even know.
Stable footing. Yeah, just give me more time.
Stay tuned. It'll be following these messages from our sponsors. We will bring back the Republic.
Right.
But the fact, like, there were no major revolutions, revolts, treason.
It was external.
The longer time goes on, you see
Yeah.
more and more of these attempts at assassinating the emperor and treasonous talk and about overthrowing them or restoring the Republic, whatever. But you don't see a lot of that in Augustus's day, and I never was really quite that sure why. There was a few small things, but nothing major.
Well, some historians have stressed his, for lack of a better word, spy network. Supposedly he had, when Caesar died, he left Augustus some money, but he didn't get it for a while because of Mark Antony. But he did have the war, or he had part of the war chest with him that they were going to use to go out east. So some historians say that he worked really hard getting a spy network up and running. And it only got wider as time went on, that he was able to prevent some trouble that might have come his way before it got out of hand, or at least he became aware of it. So again, knowledge is power. We'll never really know. But that was one answer that I found interesting. So the next question is, what did we learn from Tiberius besides the little boy aspect? What did we learn from Tiberius?
Well, Tiberius, the thing for me when I think about Tiberius was that he didn't want the job, and then when he got the job, he couldn't give a fuck very long. He pretended. He went through the motions for the first 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and then he was like, you know what? Fuck all y'all. I'd rather go to my sex palace and just get blown all day.
But like you said, I mean, Augustus was in power so long. Is it an accurate statement to say by the time Tiberius comes along, the Senate is already missing that keen element of being aggressive or whatever? Or are they just yes men at that point? Even that early on, has the Senate been denuded of its masculinity or whatever?
Yeah, you know a lot about that.
Who's the one with the tights on, huh? That's gonna sting. Leave a mark. Go ahead.
Boobs. Yeah, no, you're right. Like the Senate, obviously, after Augustus, the Senate had been completely emasculated. There were some people that talked like they wanted to restore the Republic, but I don't think there were many guys in the Senate by the time of Tiberius's reign that really had any intellectual capability to overthrow the empire and restore the Republic. They were weak sauce, these guys. They were, I think, it's a bit like any of us in our countries today. You go, well, yeah, sure, I could start a war where a lot of people would die and a lot of shit would get destroyed and I might die. Life's pretty good though. Like, and
I can't win.
I'm a senator. Like, life's pretty good. Like, if I don't rock the boat, life's going to be pretty good forever. So I don't think there was a huge incentive for these guys. Yes, like if in the back of their heads, they're reading the histories. They know that, well, in my father's generation or my grandfather's generation, somebody of the elite, of the patrician, equestrian class could rise up through the cursus honorum. We could make a name for ourselves, bring honor to the cognomen. We could, I could become a governor of a distant land, leave my wife here in Rome, go over, fuck all the fine bitches in Gaul or Spain or wherever.
That's good.
Milk the treasury over there a little bit. One for them, one for me kind of a deal.
Exactly.
It's the Steven Soderbergh, George Clooney model. One for them, one for me. So there was always that temptation or aspiration, motivation. But at the end of the day, revolutions didn't work out that well How did it work out for Brutus? How did it work out for Cassius? How did it work out for Clodius? How does it work out for the Gracchi? I mean, there was plenty of stories where it's never really works out.
The odds are not in our
unless
favor.
you're Sulla, didn't really work out for anyone, or Caesar.
Yeah.
Well, even Caesar didn't really work out that well for him. Got a couple of years
Not
in
the end. Too trusting.
So,
too trusting.
I think the Senate life was okay. Yeah, you didn't get to bring as much honor to your family as you might have liked. You didn't get to indulge in as much graft and corruption as you might have liked. But outside of that, life was the best it had ever been for anybody in the history of civilization. If you were a senator in Rome,
1%er
in the early 1st century, you had it pretty good. You know, you had money, you had a palazzo, you had, some power, you had food, you had little naked children running around that you could have sex with and no one would complain. You could, life was good.
That's good. Yeah, that's kind of like where I live. I'm married, she's not my cousin, and I can read. So I'm kind of like the elite. I'm kind of like the senatorial rank.
Can read in theory. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't take you too long to relearn how to read.
To learn the rest of the letters of the alphabet. But you should see my trophy, my cow tipping trophy.
What the fuck is going on behind you there, though, man?
We are tearing things. This room is in transition. Pay no attention to the man behind the whatever. No, this is in transition. We're going to repaint everything.
I thought you were in transition. Yeah, you said the room is in transition. Oh, you know shit. I apologize for all of those sanitary napkins I sent you. I assume now that the show was over, you were going ahead with the rest of the operation.
Look, I'm in transition. The room is, we're all, aren't we? Really in transition. I mean, we're all a progress in work. Gentlemen, what
progress in work.
Yeah. We're all, this is just a snapshot of who I am now. It will be different. It will be sadder tomorrow, but it will be different.
You haven't changed at all in the last 9 years.
I can't. Well,
okay, that's not true. When I met you, here's my take on you. When I met you,
oh God,
you were still a little bit stars and stripesy.
Oh yeah.
Military family, they tried to sign you up for the Hobbit Regiment, but even they wouldn't have you. But, military, America, rah-rah, little bit of hangover from your Christian upbringing and conversion, and a little bit little bit of a Christian, a little bit of a patriot, a little bit red, white, and blue.
Little country, little rock.
Very serious when it came to history subjects. Now, you're a atheist. Yeah, you're
who was the
guy?
Who was the guy that you upset?
Richard.
Richard. I was kind of like Richard. I was halfway between where I'm at now and Richard. But literally, to answer your question, to take any American and to give them a regular diet of perspective of events not from America really does make a difference. And it takes a while, but then you're like, oh, so we're not the greatest. You could have fooled me. I was always told we were the greatest, gods, white, gods, American, all that stuff. So it took a while, drip, drip, drip. But yeah, you start to get a different, more accurate perspective. And it does shake you to your core because everything you were taught, you find out not exactly true. And so you have to live with that for a while. You know what I'm saying? It's like the basis, the foundation of who I thought I was, you fucked with, you enjoyed fucking with it. You enjoyed watching me go through that. But now that I'm at the other side, I'm enjoying it too. And I say, thank you.
Yeah. And for me, it taught me to work hard. I think this shows the first time I've ever worked hard in my life. I'm putting together this show, which is a little bit sad.
And there's working hard. You used to be the fast talker.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
No,
Greg and Dan, what do y'all do? Do y'all have jobs? Do y'all just listen to us? I'm just curious. I don't know if I missed that part of the show. Just curious. Anybody want to say anything?
Yeah, so I'm just a IT PM in Atlanta, but I followed you guys. Figured I'd jump into podcasting and go in for the Coke and the chicks, and so far that hasn't shown up yet.
Hey, you're not the only one that's disappointed. I'm shocked, I tell you, shocked that there's no Coke and whores in this establishment.
what
about-
podcast are you doing, Greg?
I actually do one on grandfathers. It's called the Cool Grandpa Podcast. It's gathering stories and talking about the importance of grandfathers in the family.
That
Wow,
is cool.
that's
Good for you.
cool.
Generational knowledge.
Are
or
you a
experience.
grandfather, Greg?
I am. My kids made me one a couple of years ago. So I'm trying
Right.
to figure it out. So I figured I'd go ask the experts and talk to other grandfathers.
Is that the
is-
poster behind you on the wall? Grand?
Yeah, somehow I've been recognized as a resource for grandparents. So little do they know.
I
That's
like that.
fantastic. And
Yeah.
well, I'm not a grandfather yet. I don't think you are either yet, Ray. Right?
No.
No, you just
No.
look like one, but you play one on TV. What?
This guy.
She's still working for you, Cheryl? I thought you had to let her go when we ended the show, wasn't it? Part
I
of her-
tried. Okay, I'm embarrassed. Egg on my face. I lost the key to the lock. I don't know how to get her out. I know. I'm working on it. So she's still here. But I don't pay her.
She's still trying to chew through her wrist. How's that going?
It smells really bad. It really does. Anyway, sorry. So
Been
Greg,
festering for months now.
so Greg is actually contributing more to society than we are. That's freaking
it's not
sad.
hard.
What about you, Dan? What do you got going on?
I'm in IT. I live in New Mexico, about an hour from the Trinity site.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah. Haven't been there yet, but after listening to your Cold War episodes, I definitely want to go.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
like
I want to
Disneyland.
go. You have to take
Yeah.
us. I want to go there. That's
Yeah.
super cool.
Next time we let you in the US, give me a call.
Yeah, not sure.
It's a case by case basis, but I'm sure
Yeah.
you're
Of course.
aware of that.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Actually, Taylor, my son who's just got back from there, was telling me he's got like a 4-pronged strategy for getting his green card in the US at the moment, and one of them is marrying a girl that he was sleeping with when he was in LA. Except she's already married to a guy who she married to get her citizenship.
Wow.
So he's got to wait for, I think she's got to run out the clock another 2 years on that, and then she'll be free to marry my son so he can get his. And
Right.
I think then I need to marry her as well. So I can.
think
No,
so.
I'm already married to an American. Okay, that doesn't work. Anyway, yeah,
Is there anything I can do to help?
yeah. Well, you could marry me, and I need a spouse who's actually a taxpayer, apparently.
Right.
Chrissy
Oh,
is not a
Chrissy-
taxpayer
no.
in either country, but
Tax collector. Yeah.
she collects
yeah.
my
Yes.
tax. Yeah, that's what I
Ah.
call it. Do you want me to pay my taxes tonight, dear? She goes, yes.
So we
In-
have to
in
hurry up and
here.
get married before the Supreme Court changes that. But I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go.
true. Well, yeah, it's true. They'll retrospectively change it anyway, probably.
Yes.
So anyway, Dan, back to you. What kind of IT do you do, Dan, in New Mexico?
I do work for a government contractor. I do
Oh, that sounds
like
ominous.
software development type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The chicks just must be falling
Yeah.
for you.
You wouldn't believe it.
You part of the industrial military complex there, Dan. You
Proudly.
milking
Proudly.
the American hegemony. You're part on the
Creating
gravy
one
train.
banana republic after another.
Yeah.
We got to work to keep that going. It's not just going to take care of itself. We have to do our part.
I
And
mean,
that-
somebody's got to do it.
exactly.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Yeah.
you. We
Those
appreciate
countries aren't going to overthrow themselves.
you. No, it would be so great if they did. Right? Yeah. Oh God.
You've
Anyway.
been working on it for long enough. I'm surprised
Yeah.
America's not at the point now where it can just go, okay, sorry,
Yeah.
Ecuador, it's
Yeah.
time for you to overthrow yourself. Just hurry
That's
up, get it
right.
on with. We're too busy to
Yeah.
do it ourselves. Like,
We've got
we
it.
would.
Yeah.
And
We got it
usually if we're
scheduled.
too busy, we just get someone. We'll get Israel to do it for us. But they're
Yes.
busy. They're too busy. We're at the point now where
Yeah.
you got to overthrow yourself.
That's right.
Sorry, that's just the way it is.
Help a brother out.
It's
Exactly.
tough times.
Exactly.
All right, who else wants to tell us about themselves? Jason, you seem to be next in the list.
Who's Jason?
Morning, Ray. Morning, Cam.
Hello.
Morning,
How are you,
Jason.
sir?
I'm just up the road at Sunshine Coast, so about an hour north of you. And
How hot is it up there today, Jason?
Disgusting, but I'll be in the office at 9 o'clock, so I'll be safe and in the aircon and sheltered
Ugh.
from it.
It's already like 30 in my office, and it's
Yeah.
8:30 in the morning. It's insane.
No, we had a slightly long spring, a wintry spring, but now it's gone, I reckon. For the next 3 months, it'll just be disgusting, but
God damn
that's
it.
what we get for living in paradise.
Yeah. Is it paradise if it's this fucking hot, though?
It's
So
fine for the
Could knock
next
it
3
down
months.
about 5 degrees. Then it would be paradisical.
Yeah.
What do you do up on the sunny coast, Jason?
I'm in Australia's most loved industry, which is electricity invoicing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He gets all
I
the
do
chicks.
get a bit of time out of the office driving around attending sites, which is where I get ample opportunity to listen to you folks.
Driving around like your meter reader?
Occasionally,
That's
when they
Good
let me
stuff.
out.
fun. Good stuff.
But no, most of the time it's in the office.
Right.
There's no warning on the podcast, like on medication. Please do not drive or operate heavy machinery
Yeah.
while you
Not
listen to
yet.
these two. I was
There's
wondering.
been a few close calls listening to you folks.
We've had a few people over the years talk about they're on the they're bench pressing something at the gym, and then they laugh and they drop it and it falls on them.
Yeah,
I don't think we've
that's on them.
I don't think we've killed anyone yet, but we've been certainly trying our hardest.
Yes.
Well, that's good, Jason. Well, we'll have to have a coffee sometime. You come down this way. You can come and read my meter if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'll add
Iced
extra
coffee.
digits.
I could use some extra digits on my meter. That's what Chrissy
can't
keeps
take-
telling me. Yeah.
Love-
I
Lovely.
can't take two
Yeah.
Aussies. I can't take Aussies in stereo. That's too much.
Oh,
Too much. Who's next?
Who's next? Gary.
Gary.
What's your deal, Gary?
Gary.
Good
Are you
morning.
Australian?
Yeah, it's morning here. I'm in Tokyo.
Good. Okay.
Ah, konnichiwa.
7:30. So by luck, this was on my day off work.
Oh, it was meant
And
to
I
be.
got up early just to listen to this.
Well, domo
Okay.
arigato, Gary. What do you do in Tokyo?
Yeah, teaching English. I wouldn't say everyone's teaching English, but a lot of people. A lot of people like me are teaching English.
Yeah, that's the job that you do when you don't have a job in Japan, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's CEOs living in the expensive part, and then there's people teaching English.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. How long have you been in Japan?
Yeah, over 20 years, which is
Wow.
shocking. From Canada originally.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Both counts. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's cold, but it's not that cold.
And what took you to Japan in the first place?
Yeah, work and love, marriage
Right.
and job, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
didn't
we'll
think
do
I
that.
didn't think I'd stay this long, but I'm here.
Mm.
So,
Are you
anyways,
still in
enjoy
love?
the podcast. Sorry,
Oh,
Ray.
thank you. That's good.
Are you still in love?
Still married.
Okay. That's it. We don't need to say anything more.
Yeah,
thank you all
exactly.
For coming. That was the
Anyways,
best line ever. Yeah.
I'm enjoying my coffee. Unlike
There.
you're not drinking coffee late at night, are you?
Well, it's
Wait.
I am, but it's 8:30 in the morning here.
Yeah, exactly. We might be
Mm.
drinking coffee, but
Mm.
what's
Yeah.
Ray drinking?
Ray's eating
Um,
gummies, no doubt.
Water.
That's
but-
one way you've changed in the 9 years that I've met you. You become a
Yeah.
drug addict. Yeah.
Addict. I prefer the term enthusiast.
Yeah.
Because an addict is someone who doesn't, you don't really want to do it, you don't like it. Love to do it. Wish I could do it more. Love the effects. My family likes me a lot more than they ever did. It's a win-win-win. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
same in
Ray
our
keeps
house.
drinking from his cup, and he has
Oh,
his
yeah.
all I need is coffee on t-shirt. Your t-shirt.
Oh, you haven't seen the rest of the t-shirt. Stand up and show
I
them
think
the
it's
rest
then
of
an
the shirt.
Aussie, right, or something.
Yeah, all I need
Yeah.
is my coffee and my Aussie.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry
Oh,
about
it's a-
that.
These are both birthday presents that I've sent Ray over the years.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yes. Lucky me. Sorry. Try not to do the sarcasm, but we just saw
Dude, you
Seinfeld.
should
Yeah.
the things the presents that I've nearly sent you, but then have run it past Chrissy and she's like, nope,
Yeah.
no, yeah, you know,
Yeah, that
you
butt
should be
plug will never
grateful.
make it to
Yeah.
America.
Well, they
so-
were a lot larger than butt plugs. Like I think the last one was a complete sex doll made of like just the butt. One of the ones it's like a woman lying on her stomach. It's just like a
Oh, yeah.
fuckable,
It's
you
like-
know, silicon
yeah.
butt. Yeah, like Cheryl. But not tied up in a cage. And you don't have to keep this one on a constant stream of amphetamines to keep her
You're
alive.
fired. You're fired.
Yeah, I nearly bought that for you and sent it to you. And
Yeah.
Chrissy was like, no.
Okay, everybody turn off your microphones. Go ahead and send it, Cam. Go ahead and send it.
I ended up keeping it. I've used it a lot. It's
No, I definitely want it.
yeah.
I definitely want it.
Yeah.
Its value has grown.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
But
gentlemen.
I painted a little beard on the butt and a little mustache, so it kind
Right.
of looks like you now.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm famous.
yeah.
I'm famous. Told you, Cheryl. Be famous. Anyway.
So
Can I
Gary,
ask a question? Sorry.
Oh,
Can I
please,
ask a
God,
question?
yes, Gary, please.
Maybe
do.
you've said it before, but how did you two originally hook up or meet or?
Oh my God, we've only told
I
that
don't-
story like
I
a
don't think I
billion
know this
times.
story.
Wait, did you
Well,
just
say it
start
once.
listening yesterday, Gary?
I've never heard it.
No, oh, okay. Well, fuck. So 9 and a bit years ago, there was a Facebook group, probably still is, for history podcasters for some
Mhm.
reason. Like we're a persecuted minority. We need our own Facebook group to
Pretty
talk
much.
about how nobody gives us any respect and how much we all hate Dan Carlin. And somebody posed the question, what's a topic that you would like to do a podcast about that you haven't already done? And I piped up and said Julius Caesar, because I've been trying to get David Markham, my old Napoleon co-host, to do a Caesar show with me for about 5 years at that point. And he was always like, I'm too busy perfecting how to speak in a loud, annoying voice. And I've got so many pro-Democrat news stories I need to post on Facebook. Anyway, he was too busy. To be fair, he was getting a divorce and all sorts of stuff, moving to Canada.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, this guy called Ray Harris popped up on this Facebook thread and said, yeah, I want to do Julius Caesar too. And I was like, fuck it. You know, let's I said, well, let's jump on Skype and have a chat. Hi, iPhone, whoever you may be.
Hello.
Hi, Cameron Ray. Congratulations.
Oh, thank
Hello.
you.
Where are you from again?
I'm from Michigan. I'm Jody.
Hello,
Oh,
Jody
hi.
from Michigan.
I'm a subscriber.
Oh,
Oh.
wow. That's
We like you better
How
than
you know about
everybody
this.
else.
yeah.
I just
We like you.
want to say congratulations. You guys did a great job, and I learned so much. Thank you so much.
Me too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Jody. We've learned a lot from you too. Just you know, we've been secretly stalking you. People don't know this. When you subscribe to our podcast, we actually have some
Yeah.
hacking tools. We hack into your phones and we get and your laptops. We get to watch and see everything that you do. And it's
Yeah.
really this
Ask
has
me a
just been a
question.
9-year-long psyops experiment funded by the
Ask
CIA.
me anything about your life. I know
Yeah.
everything. No,
No,
Oh.
I am not trying because I subscribe to Renaissance, and I know you guys are going to be on Leonardo for another 3-4 years.
At least.
So I'm
Yeah. We're not going anywhere in your ears then, Jody. That's good. Yeah, Leonardo's
Good.
crazy, isn't it? It's just dragging on and that guy's fucking life. It's crazy.
It's like looking in the mirror. If I could real quick, Cam, if I could pick up for Gary's question, Gary, on my end of it,
Oh yeah.
I was working full time. I had a family much against my
Wow.
will.
Working. Was it working? What were you doing?
I showed up. And I punched a clock
at Walmart.
I was working. This was actually long before Walmart. Fuck, I don't even remember. I take that back. It might have been Walmart. I was working, had a full-time job, and I had my podcast. And as soon as I said, "Hey, I would like to do it with you,"
You immediately
turn off the
regretted
computer. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I know Caesar, but I don't have time. I don't have time. And that's why for the first 3 to 6 years, what I brought to it wasn't very much because I was busy. And then later on, I didn't care. But there was a part of me going, why did I? Because I like history, I like Caesar, but why did I say yes? Don't say yes. Never say yes. And but I'm glad I did because it turned out to be.
He didn't say yes. So he said he'd do it, and I said, "Well, let's jump on Skype and have a chat about it." And we jumped on Skype or something back then, and we honestly, it was like 3 hours. We spent 3 hours just laughing.
Staring into each other's eyes.
Yeah, just laughing about history podcasters. We were smoking cigars. We were just we had a great time. It was just fun from the get-go. And I was like, fuck yeah. And Ray said, I'll do all the work. You don't have to worry about it. You just rock up and I'll do all the heavy lifting. I was like, great. Sounds perfect. And then 10 minutes into the first episode, I realized that he'd what do the kids call it? Catfished me. Something like that. He pretended to be one thing, but he was really something else. He pretended to be smart,
knowledgeable,
hardworking.
Turned
out to be a complete dud, but at that stage,
a lovable dud.
He already had photos of me naked, and I couldn't get rid of him. So
you kept sending them. Stop it! Quit sending me photos.
Still sending them. My plan was if I sent you new ones, I'd get back the old ones. I was like, I'll send you these ones. You give me
like a library. I kept them all in my pants. Yeah. I didn't know. No one told me.
You and Fox would get along well. Fox walks around with stuff down his pants all the time. Like he's always just pulling stuff out of his undies. Like he's got an entire toy box of stuff down his undies.
Do you need a phone? You need an ice scraper? It's in my underwear. I got everything. You need a paper clip? I got it all.
Anyways, I only started listening because I was listening to Ray's World War II podcast.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No. And then it took me like forever to get, I don't know, episode 100 or 200 or whatever. And then you mentioned you were doing another podcast with an Aussie. And then I thought, I'll check that out. And then I'm like, this doesn't sound like Ray's World War II podcast.
No, a little bit different. I did want to ask you about that. Yeah, so to go from solid, dare I say, scholarship to whatever it is the hell that we do.
This is the World War II podcast.
Don't get excited.
ASMR.
That's when I realized that's why we're supposed to pay for it, because most people shouldn't be listening to this.
Hi. Are you having trouble falling asleep? Listen to my voice. And you're asleep. Yeah. No, and again, we didn't plan on getting body, and everybody probably knows the story as well. We didn't plan on getting body. It slipped. It slipped out.
You started it.
And then, I started it, but you could have shut that down. No, Ray, we're serious. And let's keep going. But no, that's not what you did. So I've always blamed you all these years.
It was I've tried to find that episode. I've never found the episode, but I know it was Snakes on a Motherfucking Plane was where it started. You were referencing that, and you said, I'm sorry, Cam, but I gotta swear, Snakes on a Motherfucking Plane. And then we were talking about should we edit that out? And I was like, listen, we've been talking about people getting beheaded and people having their arms chopped off and rape and pillaging. I think
Yeah.
this is
I think it's gonna be good.
probably
Yeah.
not a child-friendly podcast in the first place. So,
Right.
yeah.
And if you want to know, I've never seen that movie Snakes on a Plane. I don't know why I
No,
referenced
me
it.
either. Yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, I like Samuel L. Jackson. I don't like snakes. I
Oh.
kind of like planes. I don't know why I brought it
I
up,
don't like
but
planes.
it somehow fit the narrative at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I want to dig up that episode to find out how it fit in.
History.
But yeah, so you started swearing, and then it was just like, oh well, fuck it then. We've
Downhill.
It reminds me,
there.
it's like in Heat,
Right.
when oh, Jodie's gone. Bye, Jodie.
Oh, bye, Jodie. Sorry.
When
Sorry.
they're doing at the beginning of the film, when they're doing the takedown of the armored truck, and the ring-in guy that they've got shoots one of the security guards.
Right.
And so then they just shoot all of them. And later
Yeah.
on, Al Pacino explains to the rest of the cops, well, they've already got a murder beef. Might as well just take
Yeah.
the rest of them out, leave no witnesses, kind of thing.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
sort of our approach. You started swearing. I was like, well, we've
Yeah.
killed one guy now. We might as well just kill them all.
Yeah.
Might as well just
Cam
let
was
it all
like,
hang.
I see your motherfucker, and I raise you, and then he just went.
Yeah, raise you a cunt, and then we'll go
He just-
from there.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me several years to get comfortable with that word again because of my insular.
Did you say
upbringing.
comfortable? Did you get
I'm
comfortable?
uncomfortable with cunt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
comfortable.
Anyway, this is getting baughty. I apologize.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
anybody?
They tuned into this show. They tuned into this live stream, not thinking it would get bawdy. Sure. Have they learned
What-
nothing?
How about Trottam or Patrick Deans? Would you gentlemen like to say?
Yeah, it's a big
something?
assumption that Trotton's a gentleman.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I jumped.
Well,
Tom, I
wait till you get to
apologize.
know him. You made that mistake with me. Wait to get to know somebody before you assume they're a gentleman, Ray. I thought you would have
All right.
learned your lesson by now.
All right,
No, you're
Sean,
better
hello.
off just
T.
assuming the
Rodden,
worst.
Tony,
The-
Trevor,
the-
Terry.
Tom.
Oh,
Tom.
shit.
Mm.
That would have been my
And-
next guess.
And I'm a fat cat banker in Central Illinois.
Oh, really? There are fat people in Illinois?
Oh, look, we're all fat people in Illinois.
Okay.
America.
Yeah, in America too. I'm pretty new in my journey with you guys. I'm about 3 episodes shy of the end of the original Caesar.
Holy
series.
shit.
So I've got a long time with you guys left to go, but I saw on
Years.
the Facebook group that you guys were doing this. I think it's really cool that you did this for the fans, and to wrap things up. But you guys are doing just a phenomenal job, and thanks for this.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
thanks, Tom.
gee,
Yeah.
thank you.
The journey that he's about to go on. Should we
Yeah.
pray for him? Do we take a
Mm.
collection? I mean, what do we do for this guy? He's
Mm.
about to hear it and see it all. Not in
Mm,
a good way.
yeah, my advice would be just lie down, have somebody strap you in, and put headphones on, put
Yeah.
shades on, sleeping shades on,
We're
and
lube.
just well,
Apply lube.
obviously lube, always lube, and just do the full 9 years in one sitting.
That sounds
Cram
right
it
to me.
all in there. Yeah,
That sounds right.
cram it
Yeah.
all in as quickly as possible, and report back if there are any side effects.
That's good.
Straight from the
9
doctor's mouth.
years.
But
Jesus
I gotta
Christ.
cut out though, so thank you guys for.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Well, enjoy the next
Yeah.
9 years of your life.
Yeah. Or we're sorry.
8.
However, it works out. We're very sorry.
Go back to being a fat cat
we
banker.
got all the bases covered, so thank you.
Mm. All right. Thank you, man.
Hang in there.
All right. So we've done the chitty chat thing. Is there anyone left to chat with? No?
Patrick?
Oh,
Does
Patrick.
want to say? If he
Hey,
wants
it's
to.
up, boys. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm driving home from work right now.
Is that a
in
euphemism,
Virginia.
Patrick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
Who you
jerking
driving
off
home?
and driving home.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty much how it goes. But I work in D.C. and I'm living in Virginia with my boy Ray.
Nice.
but That's about
You
it.
actually have
I
a
work-
boy, Ray. You named him after Ray. he
Yeah,
was-
I
he
slapped
came
him
out-
around when I get
He was
home.
small and had no hair, and you were like, I know the perfect name for him.
I have
Oh.
feelings. We've been over this.
No, he crushed them years ago. What what do you do in DC, Patrick? Are you part of the industrial military complex?
I'm an executive chef, actually. I work in food service, so I'm a chef down there in DC.
Wow.
For a regional grocery store chain, they have chefs in their stores, so I work for them.
And what's on the menu today, Patrick?
Just a bunch of bullshit, really. But no, really, we do a lot of like prepackaged meals, so we're like making it easier for people to just pick up food and go home. The grocery store is called Wegmans, so it's like pretty popular here in like the Northeast.
Yeah, we got one of those.
Yeah, down in like the Richmond area where you are. So I work for those guys.
The one I've been to is in Charlottesville. It's like
Charlottesville, yeah, real nice.
It's like
down there.
The giant warehouse at the end of the Indiana Jones movie where you just see thousands of crates. It's just this big, massive building. Anyway, so that's cool. All right, so you have a real job, providing a real service, helping people, making their lives easier. Good for you. Don't become a podcast.
Yeah, what must that be like?
Yeah, so good for you.
Oh, well, thanks for tuning in.
Real jobs. I've got to bail, guys. I might try and get this going on the telephone, though, so I can listen to you guys, but I won't be able to see you or talk back.
Oh, that's the best part. But
it is. It'll be the normal format.
It'll be the normal.
Exactly.
All right, Jason.
Take care, guys. All the best for the future, and thank you for the entertainment over the years.
Thanks, Jason. You have a good day on the sunny.
Okay.
The oppressive coast.
Yes. So Ray, Tiberius, we talked about.
Yes.
What did you learn from Caligula? What's your big takeaway from the Caligula story?
Oh my goodness. So he's kind of the guy that gets lost in the shuffle. As much as I like him, I actually thought more of him, or thought I liked him more before we actually covered him. So I don't know. Is he an opportunist? Is he just an old guy saying this is my one shot at the big chair? I'll show all this. Huh?
Caligula.
Caligula. Claudius.
Caligula.
Oh my God. Sorry. I'm getting my C's mixed up. All right. Caligula. Yeah, no, just that he was not as evil as we are led to believe. He probably didn't do all those crazy things. They were just trying to slander his name. But again, not enough experience, and you can't just be birthed into a position, not besides Jesus. I think we all know that. But not exactly the qualifications to be a good leader or emperor. Yeah, not the guy that you want at the top. What about you?
Well, obviously, yeah, he was a kid. And it's the problem with him and Nero. You're taking kids and you're throwing him into that position of power and responsibility. I agree with you that one of the big learnings for me with Caligula was he very clearly doesn't deserve the reputation that's been given to him by history. Yeah, there were some legitimate conspiracies going on during his reign. Mm-hmm. And even though, while I may be sympathetic to the desire to overthrow a head of state, I'm also sympathetic to his selfish desire to stay alive. So, I don't think that made him evil. The stories of him collecting seashells instead of invading England, and the stories of him making his horse a senator, and this, that, and the other. The stories that have supposedly been evidence that he was crazy. I think he was just fucking around. He was just having fun. He was like, they were gags. Yeah, he thought it was fun times. That'd be my take on Caligula. Great movie. Still one of my favorite movies. Nothing makes me happier than watching Malcolm McDowell be Caligula. The amount of glee that he has in that role. And sad too, the Caligula story. Like his relationship with his sisters, like his parents got killed, his brothers get killed. He, sort of quasi fucking his sister, and then there's breakdowns and relationships with his family, the surviving ones, they have to be exiled, etc., etc. He can't trust anyone. And he's struggling to figure out, what do I do with all of this power and responsibilities. I don't know. It's.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him being. Well, he had a fucked up life, but even before he becomes emperor, he had a fucked up life with all of his family getting killed or arrested or exiled or whatever. And him knowing that was hanging over his head his entire childhood, that he could be next on the block. Then all of a sudden he's thrust into this world of power. He's not prepared for it. He's not ready for it. He's doing what any dumb 20-year-old would do if suddenly finds out he's the richest, most powerful man on earth. He's fucking and sucking and partying his way through it. Like, it's hard to fault him for that. And the thing that I have to keep reminding myself of too is, in this period of history in Rome, this had never been done before. Like Prince Charles, before he became king, he had a couple of thousand years of examples of how to be a prince, how to be a king, how to
all the processes.
All of these sorts of protocols and rituals and traditions for how to handle. I mean, and he's obviously not the emperor of Rome by any stretch of the imagination, but still, during the course of the next couple of thousand years, there were roadmaps and protocols developed for these people born into nobility or born into the aristocracy at that kind of a level. But back in Augustus's day and the guys that came after him, this was all brand new for them. Okay, they'd, Persia had done it, and the Macedonians had done it, but it was, again, very different traditions, very different cultures. In terms of Italian culture, Italian history, they hadn't had kings and royalty since Tarquinius Superbus back in 700 BCE, whatever it was. So they're having to figure all this shit out, and no one was prepping the next generation. Augustus, Caesar did nothing to prep Augustus. Augustus did very little to prep Tiberius. Didn't even want Tiberius to really have the job. It was the scraping the bottom of the barrel to get Tiberius. Tiberius doesn't seem to have done much to prepare Caligula for it. Didn't really like Caligula either. Wasn't quite sure if he was going to kill him or keep him alive on any given day.
I can understand that feeling.
Yeah, that's how you feel about me, right? So I feel sorry for these guys. It was, I feel like Caligula the same way I feel about Michael Jackson. Like, he was a kid. He was thrust into this thing. He had an abusive father, born into a fucked up religious family. I mean, he had no hope, really. I mean, that amount of talent thrust into the spotlight at age 6, and you're just fucking world famous from that point on, psychologically, emotionally, physically abused by your father. It's just a recipe for disaster. And I think these guys were all dealt worse hands than Michael Jackson, obviously.
I was just going to say go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I think Caligula's the most fun out of all of the characters that we've done too. I mean, who else was fist fucking people wearing a huge ring? I mean, come on, you gotta love that. You gotta give him that. No one else. Who else in all of recorded history? How many people have been recorded by historians as fist fucking brides on their wedding day while wearing a massive golden ring? I mean, he's original, if nothing else. Never been beat, never been replicated. I mean, it's like he was to fist fuckers what Da Vinci was to people painting the Last Supper. I mean, once Da Vinci had painted the Last Supper 500 years ago, every other artist since then's like, okay, let's not even. I really,
which is where Goatsy came from. They had to come up with something different. So,
Goatsy was a combination of the Last Supper and Caligula fist fucking people, because Goatsy was like, well, if I take this to the natural conclusion,
Right.
if somebody has been fist fucked with a giant royal ring enough times,
Yes,
what
this
would
is
it look
what
like?
it's
He did goats. See, people don't understand this. It was actually the
bookends.
result of a scientific experiment that he did over
Right.
many, many years.
He was a scientist,
He was a scientist, and
a
he
social.
was responsible because he didn't. He did the experiment on his own butthole for ethical
Right.
reasons. You know, he wasn't
We
quite
got to
sure.
start somewhere.
That's
Yeah.
like early scientists who were trying to protect themselves against or see what the effects of uranium would be on them. Instead of shooting himself with gamma rays to see if he'd turn into the Hulk, he was fist fucking himself, and then he took photos. That's part of the scientific process.
Right.
You know, people made fun of it, but really it was his contribution. He was a PhD in fist fucking
Fuckology. Yeah. Pistology. I don't know. People laughed at Noah as well. Look who had the last one.
Fuckology.
What I got
You notice
from
these guys aren't laughing.
Yeah.
You and I are cracking up. And these guys
That's
aren't even
fine.
no, they're smiling. It's too late. Now they're pretending to smile. But see, here's the thing. And that, to me, that sums up the entire show, right? No one else is laughing. You and I are in hysterics. I'm nearly wetting myself. You go fuckology. And these guys, no one else is amused. Just me.
It's a show. It's a show about nothing.
I'm the only
It's
person
okay.
that you make laugh, and vice versa. Yeah.
That's all we need. It's a bond. No, the one thing as far as Caligula, more money, more power, more problems. I don't need that shit. That's why I became a podcaster, because under the radar, all the bitches, all the money, all the coke, but none of the fame. I don't know. But yeah, podcasting is just the way to go. But I wouldn't want to be in the limelight. I certainly wouldn't want to be in the limelight at a very young age with a screwed up family life. And yeah, you're right. It's just the recipe for disaster. It's
The
messed up.
conversation I had with the guy at Kung Fu yesterday, we'd finished a class and we were heading back to the changing rooms, and I said, "What are you up to now, Chris?" And he said, "Oh, I got to go back and I got this job to finish." He's a chippy carpenter, Australian for carpenter or a chippy, and he said, "I've got got to make the money. Got to. He said, I'd rather stay home, and it's too hot, but I got to make the money." I said, "That's funny. I've spent the last 15 years doing everything possible to make as little money as possible."
I've succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, making money. Shit. Why didn't somebody tell me that 15 years ago? Things could have been so different. All right. So that's Caligula. Claudius. How do you feel about Claudius?
Yeah, Claudius is when I was talking about earlier. I before we started the show, because I'd watched I, Claudius, and I had read I, Claudius, I had I had a soft spot for him. He wasn't treated very well. We went over this with Augustus, that the Romans had a certain point of view when it comes to people who were physically, where there was physically something wrong. I'm not even sure what words to use anymore, so I'm not going to use any. Whatever. So yeah, so because of that, because of their mentality, he gets treated, and the Greeks were the same way, gets treated pretty bad. And just the series of events that have to happen for him to be one of the few people left standing and take advantage of it and get into power. Just amazing. But again, even though his body was not perfect, not normal, as far as we know, his brain worked just fine. He had read a lot of history. He wrote history. And so if his brain's working normally and he's a Roman citizen, he's probably ambitious. He can't do anything about the funny gait or the short arm or the stutter or whatever, but I think he's as ambitious as anybody else, and he is in the right place. He's in the royal family, whatever. So that I think wins out in the end, but I would really, really love to know if there was someone behind all those different steps, or were they just fluke things where these people are dying left and right, and that leaves him the one guy left standing.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Claudius, like I feel sorry for Caligula and Tiberius. Like Claudius, obviously very smart guy. Out of all of the post-Augustus emperors, probably the guy most qualified to be an emperor. I mean, Tiberius certainly had some military experience. And a little bit of practical political experience. But Claudius, very, very smart, well read, understood
Mhm.
history, understood politics, understood ethics. Unfortunately, and you well understand this, because he was so deformed and had been treated so poorly his entire life because of his ugliness and extreme levels of deformity. He was a sucker for any woman that'd give him the time of day. So,
Amen, brother. Preach.
or meth addicts under a bridge.
Right, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Hole's a hole. So, he got manipulated, I think, a lot by the women in his life, because he knew what he was or wasn't bringing to the bedroom. He knew that beggars can't be choosers. He was just happy to be loved. People born into the nobility are people too, or so they say. I mean, I have no evidence of that directly, but it's a theory that I'm working on. So he wanted to be loved. He wanted to be accepted. He wanted approval. He wanted to feel like he was okay. And he'd been treated like shit his entire life. All of a sudden, thrust into a fairly tenuous hold on power. I mean, this is the first time when, Caligula had just been assassinated. It was now kosher, I guess, for the Praetorians to assassinate an emperor. So
make or break them. Yeah.
And then to make the next one. So Claudius's position is fairly tenuous for his entire reign. And there's a lot of political forces, including some of those run by his wives, that are armed against him. So he's in a difficult situation. I feel sorry for him. He's the guy I would most have liked to have seen have a longer reign. With a little bit more, if he had a little bit more political capital and a longer reign, I think he could have done good things. But as it was, can you remember any real
drama
reforms? Any reforms that Claudius
caretaker? I think he just kind of coasted along, not good, not bad, just.
I mean, like the whole invasion of the British Isles really was Claudius' thing. So there was one major, not political reform, but a nice piece of work that he knocked off. He was the guy finally to finish JC's dream of taking over Britain. Not that it did him much good in the end. Didn't really bring a lot of value, but it was something. But maybe if he had a longer reign, he still wouldn't have done much. I don't know. But at least he wasn't he didn't abdicate all authority like Tiberius did. He wasn't just party boy like Caligula and Nero. Yeah, he took it somewhat seriously.
Sincere leader.
But he was just he had some personal flaws, I think, because of the way that he was made and the way that he was brought up and embarrassed and scorned even by his own mother for his entire life while she was still alive. Bitch.
What do we say today when Claudius was in the room, was in charge? There was an adult in the room. With some of the other ones, not so much. So it would have been nice if he could have lived longer. Which then I guess brings us to Nero, which we've kind of already covered. But have you had any other thoughts since we've ended the series? Anything about Nero? Any kind of zooming out and taking a look at the whole that was Nero?
Yeah, well, we summed it up at the end of the last episode, which hasn't gone out yet. It'll go out after I get off of this call, I guess. But I feel Nero was probably the biggest revelation to me doing the Nero story. Because of the work that I've done on the history of Christianity, I knew that, or I suspected that there was going to be a lot of hagiography or bad propaganda about Nero because of his role in the Jewish-Roman War and supposedly executing a lot of the Christian leaders, like supposedly Peter, Paul, Mary, Ringo, George, John. They were all executed under the reign of Nero.
Sure.
And he copped a lot of shit. And he was the last of the Julio-Claudians, and so the guys that came after him had reason to besmirch his memory and his legacy. But in doing the series and finding out more about him, I was really surprised. Like, basically my take on Nero is, yeah, he was just an artist. That's what he was passionate about. That's what he cared about: singing, dancing, acting, chariot riding. That was all he cared about, really. And architecture, the arts. He was a big promoter of sculpture and civil engineering, and he was a really. I think I would have liked Nero. I think he would have been a fun guy to hang out with. He was passionate about the arts, didn't really care about war, didn't really care about civil administration, which is unfortunate when you're the emperor, and just didn't have good guys to do that kind of stuff for him. He didn't have an Agrippa, and none of these guys. I guess that's the story with Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero. None of them had an Agrippa, really. No, but none of them had. I mean, they had their Praetorian prefects that they could turn to for security. Yeah, but it's not the same. Yeah, Agrippa wasn't a Praetorian prefect. Agrippa was
he was a catch-all.
He was the get shit done guy. None of them had a get shit done guy. And also building.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Nero had Seneca for the first 5 years.
Yeah, but he's getting old, but to guide him in good management. And so they did have good management. That 5 years, the golden years, even though Agrippina was still around, he did a good job, and then just decided, well, fuck all this bullshit. And I think the conspiracies, again, which I think were legit against him, he was young, had a fucked up childhood, father dead, mother assassinates his stepfather, then his mother's a bitch and he has to assassinate her. She's trying to have him killed at the same time he's trying to have her killed. It's like it was a Mexican standoff. Fucked up, as
right?
As the Colosseum turns. Yeah. And the other great sad irony that we learned from that is, no matter how good you are, what your age is, when an emperor dies and there's time for a new emperor, even if your hat is just thrown into the ring a little bit, if you make it, you get to spend the rest of your life defending your life. And if you don't make it, there's a chance you're not going to live very long. So again, I think that was one of the things that really helped me see these guys as more human and not just some guy in a book. They had people that were after them. They had conspiracies against them, and it's right and just that they should defend themselves. So again, it's like what we do with Stalin. It's like, you can hate Stalin all you want, but if you just stop for a second and you don't have to like it, but just look at it from his point of view, you can understand what he's doing. You can understand what Nero is doing when he has people whacked. So just trying to take care of himself. But again, wrong people in the wrong place. And yet, because of the Roman world, the way it had evolved, they're the guys who are in charge. They're either going to do well or not. And because of them, Rome is going to do well or not.
But it did pretty well in those years.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Julio-Claudian years were good years. Even when Caligula and Nero were in the palace, I mean, these were good years. It's not like Rome was suffering from a series of military defeats. It's not like the people were suffering any more than normal from famine or flood. I mean, they had the fire under Nero, obviously, and I still don't believe he had anything to do with that.
Right.
I think that the Romans had it pretty good, which is one of the reasons why I think, generally speaking, the people of Rome were quite happy with their emperors. I mean,
it's all good.
Yeah, there wasn't any civil war. There wasn't too many oppressive tax policies on the people. People got their grain. People, there wasn't a police state, that was oppressive to the people. The elite suffered a little bit more from both taxation and also, limits on their ability to have power, to rise up through the cursus honorum, etc., etc. If one of the emperors took or their wives took a disliking to you, you could find your head on the chopping block. You could be exiled. They take your gardens or your villa or your money or whatever. So I understand for the elite it wasn't exactly good times, but for the people, generally speaking, pretty happy, I think. Good times under the Julio Claudians, particularly compared to what came before, compared to the previous 100 years before Augustus, right?
Yeah,
before Augustus became Augustus.
I was going to say, when he was a young man and he helped with the prescriptions and they were putting the names on the walls and people were being killed and their slaves were, that's chaos. That's pandemonium. That's when you don't know if tomorrow's going to look like today. And as we stressed on the show a billion times in all our shows, what people basically want is for tomorrow to be pretty much just like today. So I can plan my life. I can live my life. I can take my vacations, have my beer on the weekend, whatever, hit on my sister-in-law, whatever. Everybody's different. Yeah. Or someone else's goat. That again, not bored. But so stability. And that's what, whether it was good timing or whatever, the generals that they had to help put down, keep the Persians straight. So either they made it happen or those five guys got really lucky and it was a good time for Roman history and they just weren't bothered a lot by foreign enemies.
Well, that's that's another reason we talked at the beginning about why Augustus survived as long as he did. And I hadn't thought about that, but he just kept a copy of the old prescription list in his bedside table. Anyone gave him the stink eye, threw any shade at him, he'd just pull that out and go, I can just, stick this back up on the motherfucking wall. I've already got your name written on it. I can just put it up on the wall, Sonny Jim. Yeah. No, I just you're good.
I'm just the first.
You withdraw your complaint. Okay, I thought you might. I thought you might. Yeah. No, but it was in living memory.
Frustrated.
It was in living memory of the people in Augustus's day and their parents and their grandparents about the prescriptions, his prescriptions under the Second Triumvirate.
Civil War.
So and the Civil War and all that kind of stuff, and the first civil war between Caesar's assassins and Antony and Augustus and who was the third guy in the Second Triumvirate?
Head of
the Equestrians.
Looking right at him. I'm looking at the actor that played him.
Begins
I'm looking
with a P.
right at him.
Begins with a P. P. I think I've got a P. Anyone got a P? P word? Okay.
I'm going to guess his name was Gaius. No, what was his name? Shit.
I'm Googling it. We're not going to remember. Why isn't my internet? Google.
And he had a good life. He was able to step down. Nobody killed him. And he lived a pretty decent long time. And
well, they screwed him out of power, but
but he could have most of the time. That happens right before you die.
Lepidus.
Told
you began with a P. Lepidus.
Okay, we're going to talk about the alphabet later, but
Lepidus.
Lepidus starts with a P.
So that was in living memory. So I guess people are like, well, yes, we have an emperor, but at least there's no list of prescriptions. So let's be grateful for small mercies. Be worse. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. It's all relative. It's always relative, and you always compare what is with what was. That's what humans do.
Yeah,
write that down.
So, don't you have to take her handcuffs off for her to write, or have you got it set up in a way where she can do it with her mouth? Is the pencil in her mouth now? I saw you were teaching her to do that.
Put this between your toes. Come practice. Well, you could try. And Lepidus does not start with a P. I don't know where you got that from. Anyway, all right. This is what we do, people. I'm sorry.
This is how the sausage gets made. And you would never know, because by the time you edit it and put it out, it just looks like
we're
perfection, like we were born.
Yes. Never make mistakes, never clear our throats, never
No.
go, that one thing, that one guy,
I had
that
something
one
for that.
time, I had
Yeah.
that's on the editing room floor.
I'll tell you the thing I'm saddest about with the series wrapping up is how am I going to use my soundboard from now on? Like a stable of young men to come behind me. What do I do with that clip?
Does anybody have any suggestions? Because that is worth its weight in gold. That cannot be lost to
I mean, it's my
prosperity.
ringtone on my phone, but apart from that, I don't know what else I can do with it. Well, do you think we'll ever come back and do the rest of the story, Ray?
Okay. I'm just gonna lay this out. Oh, hello. Hi. I have made so much money from selling coffee mugs that I don't need.
You don't need to work
come back.
ever.
No.
Generations of Harrises won't need to work from all of that coffee mug.
Well, that's
Yeah.
right. No, the brutally honest answer
Blue.
is I don't ever want to be that busy again. So if we ended up wrapping up the Renaissance, or if we wrapped up the Cold War, which I can't really see before one of us dies, then I don't know. I could see it. I could see. What about you? But it was a lot of work. I mean, it was fun for you. For me. For you, it was a lot of work. For me, it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I like the fact
I would
that
just sit there and go.
the excuse you're giving
I could
is the
just
work.
listen to him.
The amount of work that you had to do. That's
My
the
work was
line
coming up
you're
with excuses.
trying to pull here.
Yeah. So I'm just being honest. Yeah, I've peaked as a content creator. It's all downhill from here, as you can tell by this very conversation. No, I would like to go back one day, but a break is
Sadly, you peaked the day before we started working together, I think. It's all been downhill.
But it's been a hell of a ride down. I've gone the whole time. So it's okay. It's all good.
Well, so we're not coming back then until
Until I'm finished, until I want to go again.
Right.
I just saw
That's
somebody
it
with
then.
a baby.
Yeah, Patrick.
Oh.
Patrick was on with his baby, but then he left again because you were being too creepy to the baby. You freaked the baby started crying.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Too.
He's like, there's another baby, but he's all hairy. What is that's what's going to happen to me, Daddy? Will I turn into a scary troll dwarf too? He's like, no, it's okay, Patrick.
Yes, that will happen to you, but there's always edibles, and they take care of everything. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that. Unless any of you guys have any more questions, I think we're pretty much spent.
Anybody would like to speak up and defend me? You could have defended me at any time in the last hour. No, thanks.
I won't be doing that.
No. Where's Giuliani when you need him?
So go ahead.
Are you guys gonna do start another podcast? Or are you just gonna keep going with the other ones, or do you know yet?
Bite your tongue, Dan. Bite your tongue. I don't
think you're getting the point of all of this, Dan.
We don't like each other. Okay, we've been faking it for 9 years. I can't fake no more.
No, we're trying to work less, Dan, is the point.
That thing.
Here's the thing, there's a thing in podcasting called pod fade. It's usually when somebody starts a podcast and after 6 months or a year of having to churn that fucker out every week, people start to go, oh, fuck, this is too much hard work. Now, so that's a very common phenomenon. Most people go, oh, a podcast, sure, that sounds like fun. Let's do one of those. And then the realities of the amount of work that it takes and the fact that you don't make any money and you don't get the chicks and the coke and all that kind of stuff. And the shame that comes with being
Mostly
a podcaster.
shame.
Mostly shame. They don't factor that in. And so after 6 months or a year or whatever, they fade. Now, not only have we been putting ourselves through that ringer for 9 fucking years on this show, and Ray's been doing it on World War II for years, but before that too. And I've done it with other shows. for the last, well, increasingly we've done this show each week, the Cold War, the Renaissance, the Bullshit Filter. We did Alexander. Ray still does the World War II show. I do the QAV show. It's just a lot of work. But like, I haven't had a fucking holiday in 9 years. Every week, I've got to write 10,000 words of notes and try and cover for Ray every fucking week for 9 years.
It's exhausting.
It's so we're trying to work less and focus on the podcasts that actually make us money. None of our shows have made us any money, really.
Do you think I would dress like this?
Ray's World War II show is his main source of income. My QAV show that I do with Tony is my main income. And so I think we want to go focus on those things, try and build those up, make some more money out of that. And surprisingly, ridiculously detailed long form history podcasts with a lot of dick and butt fucking jokes aren't taking the world by storm as a niche. That we invented this niche. Deep dive history with lots of butt fucking jokes. We thought, our research said the test audiences told us that this was a niche that would make us rich and famous. As it turns out, the opposite is true. It made us poor and lonely. So,
but the flip side. So you're right. It's a lot of work. But the flip side is for him occasionally, and it's a lot of work to listen to him talk sometimes. But occasionally, when we didn't do a show and we took that week off or whatever, it was a very weird week because my entire existence is there's Thursday nights. It's like BC and AD. It's like there's the before Thursday nights and there's Thursday night when we record and there's after Thursday night. So on the few weeks that we didn't do anything together, it's like you're lost. You're lost. You don't know when you get up. What's that sun? Is that a sunrise? Is that a sunset? What does Saturday mean? I don't know. And so then we go back to the routine. But it's just it's exhausting. And our families seem to want to spend time with us, which I didn't sign up for that.
No, I haven't even told my family that we're wrapping it up because I'm like, I've got to go into the thing now with Ray. Sorry, 3 hours. I got to do this thing now. Yeah, see ya. Yeah. So everyone leave the house while I record with Ray for a few hours. No, so we're not going to do anything else. I'm trying to make another film. We're working on a book. I've got a couple of books I'm working on. One that Ray said he'd work with on me, and I think he's written one line in the last 18 months. So,
but it was a good line.
Hold your breath for that. Well, you did a line on the book, I should say, rather than you misunderstood. You misunderstood my instructions. I said write lines, not snort lines.
I got excited and everything.
I know. Yeah, you're like snorting lines. That's all it takes. I can do that.
I'm here for you.
Yeah, so lots of other projects, and I do hope that in the not too distant future, Ray and I will be able to go back to Italy and do a documentary version on the Giulio Claudians. My dream has been to do a Netflix series on the Giulio Claudians. Yeah. So I think when we have the resources, the financial resources, I think that'd be the next step, is to do some video stuff together. Ray and I dressed in togas, walking around Italy, talking about fisting.
Right. What could possibly what bad thing could possibly happen?
And that's why I've been learning Italian for the last few years. Is part of the plan.
I've been learning fisting. Sorry.
So together, you've just got it. You got it all.
Well, I've been practicing.
Yeah, that's why you're wearing the mankini today. It's like easy access.
Did I do it right?
Yeah.
Did I do it?
Yeah.
Where's the hole?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to make some video stuff at one point. But
Let me ask real quick for those of you that are still here. Do y'all listen to podcasts when it comes to your history podcast? Do you listen to stuff that's generally serious or kind of like us or in between?
Is there
I'm just
anything else
curious.
kind of like us?
Is there anything else
Yeah.
out there like us? But I would genuinely like to hear your thoughts on that.
No, I mean, for me, I listened to you guys because you were so different. And it
Mhm.
was like hanging out with my buds with the dick jokes and the music that was early on. And
Oh,
some of the-
yeah.
because it
the
was like,
music.
you know, to me anyway, it's like I get enough of the serious drier history, whether it's YouTube videos or whatever. So you guys, for me, was like you know, a palate cleanser. And it was literally, it was like hanging out with my buds. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
sorry,
the
you
limoncello
need a
of
better,
podcasting.
higher quality of friends.
You really
Greg,
need to work
obviously.
on that. Go
I
buy
do
some.
that was on my
Amazing.
review from last year. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Go buy some better friends. I'm still
Mm.
trying to. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when we started doing when we started swearing and the show started evolving, I remember at the time, like I was a big fan of Kevin Smith's podcast, and I love Kevin Smith's films. So, you know, I've always had like a dirty mind and a potty mouth, and to me, the idea of talking about deeply serious subjects and bringing a level of intelligence and a level of intellectual rigor and depth to serious subjects, but doing that with a lot of fucking around, to me was magic. Like I enjoy it. I have such a great time. Obviously, Ray has a great time. We really did think, well, at least I thought, this is going to be huge. We have fucking nailed the magic combination here of teaching. And, you know, I was a big fan of The Daily Show when Jon Stewart was doing it as well. And it was sort of that combination of how do you talk about serious political stuff, but sprinkle it with a lot of silly jokes and humor to, you know, you said as a palate cleanser, but as a way of making the hard stuff good. And because, you know, we get emails, we don't so much anymore, but we used to get emails from people all the time saying, I hated history at school, thought it was really boring. You guys make it so much fun. Now I love history. And I really did think that we were going to be, you know, like, well, I did think a statue the size of Nero would be erected in most cities around the world. To be honest, in our honor. Well, the statue of me would be that tall. The statue of Ray would be life size, as a like butt plug size kind of thing. But as it turns out, more of a niche thing than we thought it was going to be.
Right.
But I'm glad that some people enjoyed it.
Yeah. Anybody else want to
tell us how great we are? Anyone else want to tell Ray how great he is? It's like, this is his last chance of ever anyone saying anything nice to him.
Literally ever. No pressure.
Nothing.
No pressure.
No, see, even these people, even with that kind of guilt trip, they're still like, no, I can't. They're like, Ray, you're so, I can't. I just can't.
So to sum up, listen to Cam's show to make money, listen to our shows to laugh, and listen to World War II to fall asleep. I think we've got you covered. We got everything. Yeah, it's the potpourri of podcasts. Yeah, so yeah.
All right, and watch my film if you are a Christian and want to be deconverted, because they're calling me the deconvertinator now. Well, I'm calling myself the deconvertinator.
I like that. I like that. TM that.
The deconvertinator. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So Dan, Greg, Patrick, Gary, Jason, to everybody, thank you. You probably didn't
five of you
donate
bothered
enough.
to turn up for our farewell send-off. It just tells you everything really about, you know, how little people give a fuck.
Exactly. That's okay. We don't need that. Over the years, you probably didn't donate enough, but we appreciate your time, and that's priceless.
Do we though? Yeah. Okay.
Does that sound good, Cheryl?
Did that sound sincere? Yeah.
I can. Okay, let me do it again. 1, 2, 3. Action.
Yeah.
Dear listeners. No, I'm just. But thank you. Seriously.
I
We really do.
They all
appreciate it.
fell asleep as soon as those two words came out of your voice. You did it in your World War II
Wow.
voice. I
It's-
saw them.
it's a gift.
They all
It's
just
a gift.
nodded off immediately.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
gift.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, yeah.
Your NPR voice. Yeah.
Sweaty balls. Anyway. Oh, good stuff.
Good times. And then he, went out and shot someone. So, that's
You got to take the good with the bad.
yeah. Which one is which though?
It depends on who. I'm
Yeah.
not going to make that joke. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. Never
No.
mind.
Yeah.
Thank
Even
you.
you have a line.
I do. I do
Yeah.
have a line.
I will see you Thursday night, your time, Friday morning, my time, to do a bullshit
Yeah.
filter on the US
Cool.
midterms and the Twitter files
Right.
and Chat GPT. Maybe we talk about that too.
Sure.
I'll
I'm
tell
gonna-
you what we're going to talk about when we turn up. Yeah. It's the way
Tell
the show
Cheryl.
works. Yeah.
Cheryl will tell me
Yeah.
and I'll show up.
Okay.
Oh, gummies are kicking in. So,
Whoa.
gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for turning up, guys. Have a good life.
Yeah, sincerely.
Later,
Take care,
boys.
guys.